China hits the U.S. with retaliatory tariffs, including on agricultural imports. Canadian Prime Minister Trudeau blasts Trump for cozying up to Russian President Putin and imposing tariffs against allies. He threatens to hit the U.S. with the retaliatory tariffs. Mocking Trudeau as governor, Trump says he will hit back if that happens. The stock market tumbles in response. March 5th, Trump delays tariffs related to autos until April 2nd. March 6th, Trump delays tariffs on Mexican goods. Later, he does the same for Canadian goods. The reprieve expires April 2nd. In other words, not only is it beyond clear that certain tariffs have indeed gone into effect, even if Trump has tried to constantly scale them back as a negotiating tactic, but he's been so chaotic with them that even if they weren't imposed, it's still as if they were. He's been making these threats since the literal first day of his presidency. At some point, other countries aren't going to respond to the whole whiplash, imposition and delay, and they're just going to start taking action themselves to protect their own interests. And that's exactly what's happened here. For example, China has already imposed retaliatory tariffs on their own goods, and Canada, for its part, has announced today that they'll be imposing a 25% tariff on energy imports into the U.S.
Ontario has decided to impose a 25% increase on electricity exports to the United States. You spoke with that province's energy minister. How much of an impact will all this have on the states targeted by this particular increase?
Well, Ontario officials, Major, say that this will impact about 1.5 million Americans in those three bordering states. So we're talking about Minnesota, Michigan, and New York. They are saying this will cost the U.S. about $400,000 each day. That 25% surcharge is put in place. Now, I spoke to the minister earlier today, and he said he hopes it will financially impact those Americans in those three bordering states, especially those who voted for Trump, to fix the economy. Listen.
We want to make clear we actually have a great sense of love and affection for the American people. We share the values and the same democratic aspirations. So it's very regrettable we're here, and there's only one person, one man that can be blamed for the situation we are in, and that is President Trump.
So I asked Minister Stephen Lecce, what is the goal here? He says, look, we just want to renegotiate that USMCA deal, which, Major Ed, you'll remember, was signed by President Donald Trump.
And that was no surprise. Here's the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, previewing the threat to cut electricity to 1.5 million Americans if Trump continues with his devastating tariff policies.
I'm going after absolutely everything, and I don't want to. We keep the lights on to 1.5 million homes and manufacturing in New York, in Michigan, and in Minnesota. If he wants to destroy our economy and our families, I will shut down the electricity going down to the U.S., and I'm telling you, we will do it. It's unfortunate. I would rather ship you more electricity, ship you more critical minerals. I want to ship you more energy, more potash to keep your farmers going, and uranium that you use for your nuclear power. It comes through from Saskatchewan over to Ontario, and it's going to be a massive, massive problem. I'm telling you, we love the Canadians love Americans. I love the U.S. Everyone does. And not one American friend. When I lived there for 20 years, I've talked to all of them. Hardcore Republicans are saying this is the biggest mistake President Trump has done, and we're dead against it.
And for those vehicle consumers out there, this report actually ran on Fox News, of all places.
This Dodge Ram truck, $80,000, instantly became $100,000.
And it's not just American consumers who are getting hurt. American businesses are feeling the brunt of this poorly handled trade war as well. American liquor brands are now getting cleared off the shelves in Canada. That right there is Bullet Bourbon. It comes from Kentucky, meaning that red states' economies are going to suffer as the direct result of Donald Trump's policy choices. And look, we can go on and on, but I think the point here is clear. Donald Trump decided to engage in a trade war that everybody warned would have no winners, that would raise prices, that would harm American consumers, and that would crush American businesses. All of that is happening right now. The only thing worse than Trump doing these things is the fact that he was warned of the consequences beforehand and yet barreled ahead anyway. All because he wanted to look like a tough guy and bully our allies. Our allies, not even our enemies, hoping that they wouldn't reciprocate. Well, guess what? They did. And the losers in all of this are the very people who voted him into office under the pretense that he ever gave half a shit about regular Americans. He doesn't. This is all a game for him to be able to flex his ego at the expense of everyone else, at the expense of all of us. So if you voted for Trump because you believed him when he said that he would bring down costs, make sure you remember what he and the Republican Party are doing right now once they don't need to pander anymore for your votes. Before you go, first, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more and support independent media, please subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button will be right here on the screen. But second, the reality is that we're now in a political environment where this administration can lean on any of the social media platforms to suppress certain voices if they don't like critical coverage. That means my longevity here is in the hands of a few tech billionaires who are already making it clear that they're willing to cater to this White House. To that end, signing up for my newsletter is a great way for me to be able to reach you directly if that ever becomes necessary. I'll put the link on the screen as well, so please sign up. It's completely free, but there's also an option to do a paid subscription if you'd like to support my work. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.